Welcome to another episode of the Raidercast, your podcast for everything silver and black. And today, we're talking about my top 5 breakout stars for the 2022 season. Now, how I decided on these players is I chose players that I think will get significant enough snaps and will also receive league-wide attention for their either improved play or for their surprising rise in rank in their position. So yeah, let's get into it. Well, we're gonna first start off with some honorable mentions that I have, and they are Divine Diablo, Rock Ya-Sin, and Jayon Brown. Especially the two linebackers. Linebackers don't get a lot of love unless they're rushing the passer a lot or they're like Fred Warner type level. And I don't think either of them will be. However, I think they'll have some great highlights. They'll probably have some good, bang plays. They'll probably get maybe like a nod like, oh, they had a great play this week. So stuff like that. I don't see them getting league-wide attention or league-wide knowledge of their name. I mean, Jayon Brown people kind of know, and Divine Diablo people know just because of his name alone, not necessarily his play. But yeah, I think they'll be stars for us. I think they'll have a great impact on the field. However, I don't think they'll receive that like national attention. They'll both receive significant snaps. Same thing with Rock Ya-Sin. He didn't get a lot of coverage even in Indianapolis. I mean, it's a smaller market, but still, he was still really good there. He didn't get a lot of coverage from the national media that I saw, which is, if I didn't see it, then, it was probably not seen by the majority of people. I think, once again, like the other two, he'll be a star for us, but he won't receive that national attention that other players on my lists will. But, once again, he has an awesome name. Rock Ya-Sin's a really cool name. Divine Diablo is a good name. Even Jayon Brown's a really cool name. So all three of these guys have really awesome names. So let's get into my actual top 5, and we're going to start off with Malcolm Koontz. Malcolm Koontz may not get the snaps, but I think he'll have pretty damn good rotational pass rush play for us. He had a 72.7 pass rush grade from PFF. He had 2 sacks in 48 total snaps. He was rotational last year. He didn't play at all like the first 2.5 months of the season. When he finally came in, I believe it was against Kansas City, he finally came in. He got a sack immediately on his, I think it was his very first snap, or was it Washington? I don't remember which one, but he got a sack in both those games, I believe. I remember the Kansas City one because he sacked Mahomes in the blowout in Kansas City. But he looked really good. I think he's, like Baby Mac. He won't have the same career as actual Khalil Mack, but they hail from the same Buffalo. So I think he'll have a great season. I think he'll have some great highlights. I think people will actually know his name. I think he'll get a lot more play time. He'll be there, I believe he'll be our defensive end 4 behind Cleveland Ferrell. But I think he'll probably surpass Ferrell in the rotational in the pass rush order. I'm not sure which side he'll be on, stuff like that. That'll be stuff we'll find out soon. But I think he's gonna have some great plays. He's gonna have some great highlights. He's gonna get known by maybe not the casual viewer, but he'll get known around the league as this guy is pretty damn good at rushing the passer and getting sacks. I could see him getting maybe 4 sacks this season, 5 sacks this season, just from coming in on those third down plays and just getting a big sack. And getting a big sack in a big game will get you that national attention. So I think he'll have plenty of opportunities to get his name out there. Now, someone coming up who already kind of has his name out there, he's recognized as Casey Hayward as one of the best young corners in the league, and that is Nate Hobbs. A standout from our 2021 draft. He was a 4th or 5th round pick, maybe 6th. I don't remember his draft order, but he looked really damn good. Even in the preseason is not determine what a player's going to look like. However, he looked insanely good in the preseason. He had that great pass rush snap versus Seattle where he got the sack. He had that great interception versus LA. He got that great tackle for a loss against LA. He just looked absolutely insane. He had a 79.1 overall grade from PFF, a 76.7 coverage, pass rush 78, and a 78.8 run defense in 562 coverage snaps, 255 run defense snaps and 20 pass rush snaps, which is a lot of snaps. So he played a lot of game, and he still had those high marks. I think he'll have even better next season. He had 54 solo tackles and interception. He allowed 45 receptions on 54 targets, which is expected from the slot. It's hard to, not allow snaps in the slot, as they're usually short passes. You can't really get in front of them. However, the yards after the catch he allowed was very low, which is good for a slot. He's just gonna have another great year, and I think this year he's gonna have those plays, those moments, that impact that will get league-wide attention, and of course he'll get significant enough snaps to, have become a breakout player and get those plays. Next up is someone else that also had a significant amount of snaps last year, but didn't get quite the attention that even Nate Hobbs did, and that is Trayvon Moore, or however you say his last name. He looked really good as that outfield free safety in the cover 3. It's not his place to be that kind of tackle free safety, though, that Gus Bradley wanted him to be. He's more of a ball hawk. He had a lot of interceptions at TCU. I think he'll get a lot of interceptions in Graham's defense. He only had 1 last year, but I think he'll get a lot more next year. He had 9 receptions allowed on 16 targets, which is pretty good. He had 39 solo tackles. He had a 77.7 coverage grade on 715 coverage snaps. He had a low run defense grade, 435 snaps, and he only had 56.7. But again, as a safety, it's not super. It's important to have a good tackling, but I think his coverage is what's going to elevate his game. He's going to have those just game-changing interceptions, and he had a couple this season that he could have had. He needs to get his hands better, especially that Washington game. He could have that game-sealing interception. Can't rag on him too hard as a rookie. I think if he gets better hands and get a little bit better against the run, I think he'll be even better next season. He'll get that league-wide attention that he should have gotten last season if he was in a better system. Next up is someone that you might not expect on this list, Zamir White. I am really big on the Zamir White. I'm on the Zamir White train. I think he's going to be the future for our running back position. I honestly don't think that Josh is going to stay that much more. No hate to Josh. I love Josh Jacobs. He's a great player. McDaniels doesn't like giving running backs an extra contract. He hasn't played at such a level where he necessarily deserves a second big contract. If he takes less money, I'm sure he'll stay. However, as people know, McDaniels runs a running back by committee type of offense. He doesn't just have one star running back, and I think Zamir White can excel. He looked really good in Georgia, and he was behind James Cook his whole career, and he still put up great numbers. He still looked really good. He has some injury concern, which is probably why he fell. He has both ACLs torn in the past, stuff like that. However, he's powerful. He runs right through tackles. He has great balance. I think he'll end up becoming a star. I think he'll actually. People aren't expecting him to make the roster, or not necessarily the roster, but he'll probably might be a practice squad player. I think he'll be our 4th running back. I think he'll probably be, instead of Amir Abdullah, he'll be our running back 4. He'll play special teams. And I think later in the season, as they try to maybe rush Jacobs, or maybe we don't even have Drake by that point, I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? Maybe Jacobs is out for more games than we want, or he's not healthy enough. We put Zamir White in, he could have those games where he just pops off and has 100-yard games and 2 touchdowns. He had those types of games in Georgia where he just went off on the defense, like the Auburn game they had. He just went crazy. I think he'll have those types of games, and that will get the national attention. He'll be like, whoa, is this a replacement for Jacobs? Which I think he will be. I think he's going to be really good for us. I think he's going to really break out in his rookie year. And then finally is someone that we all hope will have a breakout year, will establish himself as a top, maybe not even top, but middle of the pack at least, and that is Alex Leatherwood. I really hope Alex Leatherwood works out. He seems like a really good guy. He wants to work hard. He tries to work hard. He just didn't look good last year, and it could be that the scheme that he was in just didn't work for him, or his mental's got in the way of going from a guard to a tackle is a much different thing. He was much more of a guard in Alabama. However, they wanted him to play tackle, and he looked much more comfortable in the guard position when they moved him there. However, I think he'll be put back in that right tackle position because they're trying to get, I believe they said that they want him to play the position he was drafted for, which is right tackle. And I think with the offseason program that we've seen on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, he looks good. He's gotten a lot stronger, it looks like, a lot healthier. He looks maybe a lot faster. I think he could be a really good tackle. I think he could end up becoming a little bit, hopefully a little bit better than that, like 49, 45 PFF grade. He allowed way too many penalties on him. 14 penalties is ridiculous. It's terrible. He allowed 8 sacks, which is awful. That is atrocious. If he can clean that up, even just allow like 2 to 3 sacks and lower those penalties to single digits at least, and just have a little bit better blocking, I think he'll become that star, that not necessarily a star, but have a breakout season. He'll become towards that star like Kolton Miller did. Kolton Miller's in his 4th year, and he was not good the first year. He looked a lot better his second year, and his third year he was even better, and he was really, really good in 2021. And I think Alex Leatherwood will have that same track. I very hope so, and I think he could, especially if he keeps it up. He seems like a hard worker. He doesn't seem like he's a lazy player. It's not because he's lazy, it's just he didn't do well, and which sucks. But I think his work ethic will help him become that better player that we need him to be. Now, that is all I have for my, obviously it's a top 5, so that's my top 5. Leave a comment down below what you think. Do you agree or disagree with any of my rankings? Do you have players that you think will break out that I didn't talk about or even mention? Comment down below what you think. Tell me if I'm right, tell me if I'm wrong, tell me what your thoughts are. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn the bell notification. I post every Tuesday and Friday, and I post some in between, either mini videos like my first team all pro like list video that I did last week, which I thought I had a lot of fun making. I love looking at the history. I'm a history guy. I love looking at the history of the Raiders, so go check that out. Every Tuesday I do my Retro Bowl. Every Friday I try to do a video stream like this. Thank you for tuning in, and peace out, Raider Nation.